What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in back into the Biz with D on my First Wings Radio with your one and only rockstar on the mic, Mr. David Dwayne, in the place. Yes, yes. And right now we got our boy, R&B recording artist, Lyfe Jennings, on the show with us. What's going on, man?
All is well, all is well.
Glad to hear. Thanks so much for this interview and coming on the show. We definitely appreciate it. So now, like, you got this brand new single out that's called Pretty Is. I gotta say, I love the concept of this single. What inspired the record?
Inspired the record, I just see an epidemic, women dancing in the club. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to make them aware of the risk. Since they're already aware of the money, everybody making them aware of that. But I just wanted to make them aware of the risk of it, too.
Right. And I think that's great that you made, the awareness of the risk and stuff like that with, dancing in the clubs like that. Because a lot of people don't understand that, there can be a perk. There are pros and cons to this.
Right.
And I got to say, the video was great, too. Just came out last month. But, tell everybody, the concept of this video, just in case, they missed it.
Well, again, the song is Pretty Is, and it's really short for Pretty Is what Pretty does. And even though this woman was an exotic dancer, she was using that as a pedestal to reach her dream, which was ballet, And it's just really strict thing before you see her using a negative situation, so to speak, and just trying to turn it into a positive situation.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, using ballet as a positive, and dancing and stuff like that, because a lot of people, they use that avenue to do great things, and it's like you said, she might not have been exactly a stripper, so like that, but the whole concept and the storyline, even though she wasn't the girl in the video, wasn't a stripper, it plays so well in there. So I gotta say, I like how you put it all together.
Well, thank you. Shout out to G Visuals and them. Those are the cats that did it.
So now you're now doing you got an independent situation now, right?
No, I'm with Sony.
How are things, different from your last deal to now with this new situation?
I think my last situation was more independent. In this situation, they have a whole set of machines behind them again. I've been, did this before. And I think just as far as saturation, like you need guys that are already good at what they do so that they can allow you to concentrate on what you do.
And I constantly, say to people, with having a label behind you, so to say, you got to make sure there are a serious machine. You can't just be signed with somebody just because, it looks good on your name or it looks good on their name. They've got to be able to put something behind, the great quality of sound of music that you're playing, especially with R&B.
Right. And they got to treat you according to how they would like you to be, as according to where they think you are. Because if they're not pushing you to become greater, then what's the sense? You can do it by yourself. You can be you by yourself,
Right. That's very true. And let's talk about, with producing and stuff like that, because you do some producing with your music and stuff like that. When you compose your music, what's the first thought like when it comes to like putting that track together?
I try to do it like a movie. Like I try to picture exactly what it is that I want to say, and I picture it in a movie, and then I just write the soundtrack to it.
And I've got to say, a lot of your stuff, like your music, is definitely like a soundtrack, always, because it's about life. It really is about life. Hence, no pun intended to your name, but it really is, especially like to like the visuals and even the artwork to your new album, Tree of Life, which I have to say, that shit is crazy. When I saw the cover, because I saw it before you revealed it, stuff like that, I was like, ooh, this is very artistic.
Well, thank you, man. I think the Sony art department worked hard on that, and I do feel like this is my favorite album cover out of any of my albums.
Yeah, I can definitely see that, because and I feel like it's a representation of you, and like the embodiment of the music and what you're trying to go for this time around. I mean, this sound is like really strong.
Oh, thank you.
Let's talk about this the music video you dropped for Gold about 3 weeks ago. Man, those numbers on YouTube and Vivo are going crazy. How are you feeling about the response to that video?
I definitely got out of it what I wanted to get out of it. again, it was a song that I did half of it on Apollo. Fans that been with me forever were probably the only ones that were really familiar with it, and I just wanted to give them a token of my appreciation and just finish the song.
Right. And I definitely got to say for myself, I appreciate you finishing the song, because there are those times where, the artist has like those half songs, or where it's like a minute and something or 2 minutes, and it's like, damn, Lyfe, so-and-so, why didn't you finish it? This thing would have been so ill.
Yeah, you want the rest of the story. I get it.
And with being able to tell a story through this album, what would you more so say is like how I want to word it? It's more so like the center foundation for this project, would you say?
I don't really so much know it is a concept other than the truth, but I think the concept for all of my albums has been the truth. Again, what I do is I just take a lot of situations, and I have a couple songs about the same situations, and I pull the best song about each individual situation, and I put it on the album. Like, I don't do album fillers and stuff like that with other people. Like, that's corny to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I want every single song on the album to be able to stand up by itself.
Right. And speaking of album fillers, when you think about, other artists doing album fillers, like, what do you, like, when you actually can hear a record and you're like, oh, that's an album filler, I can hear, because, being an artist and being in the industry, you can tell that something that was just to fill the project, not it was really meant to be on there.
Yeah, well, to me, I think it's disrespect to the fans. Because if that's the case, then they don't need to go buy your album. They could just buy the songs that wasn't album fillers. You know what I'm saying? So, you are doing them a service so that they can do you a service. And if you're not taking care of your end of the bargain, then, hell, they call that robbery. No,
that's true. I try to tell people, even little independent artists that are trying to build up and do their thing on the R&B surface, I tell them all the time, listen, if you're going to put something out, let it be something that it don't sound like, oh, I'm just filling this project, or I got to hurry up for a deadline just because you're trying to fulfill some kind of obligation. No, do it for real and give people what they want, because nowadays R&B has shifted where it's crossing over. That it's crossing over. So I'm just like, look, do that R&B music right or don't do it at all.
Yeah, I agree.
And what's your takes on, R&B, crossing over to more so the pop side, or, going like different directions? Do you feel like, R&B artists should do it, or do you feel like it's more so like a genuine art that happens within music overall?
I think great music is going to transcend all boundaries, like whether you try to do it or not. I'm not a fan of trying to do a pop song for the sake of getting it on pop radio. But I'm a fan of doing a song, a great song, and if it happens to be pop, then that's great too. That's just like two benefits.
Right, that's true. So now with this album, did you work with any producers that you worked with before?
Yeah, I worked with this young lady that I worked with on my last album, Baby Girl, BG, or whatever. And for the most part, it's just been me. I got Pretty Years was produced by my dude Shawnee Mack. And most of the album pretty much was just did the rest by me.
And that's the way it should be, because you're really good at, playing the guitar and doing your thing with, putting that music together. And a lot of artists can't actually, sit there and say, I put this together. Most of it was done by me, and being able to, put it out and to sound good and be able to catch people, still after, a slight hiatus within their career.
Yeah, I gotta be able to touch it. Like, all these songs are my babies, so I have to be able to touch them. I can't just have somebody write me a song, give it to me, because I'm not gonna sing it as powerful as I would have if I had went through it.
I hear you on that. I try to tell people, even when people write books or write songs, I say, be careful, how you bring somebody in and what they're saying, because that is your story. You don't want it to be tossed in a different direction where it's like, oh, okay, well, that's Lyfe's story, that's David's story. Oh, okay, I'm really not a fan of it, when it was meant to be said a whole nother way. So now, a question from one of my Twitter followers. They wanted to know, with this album, do you plan on going out like on a full tour?
Yeah, we're talking about going out on tour, I think the end of July, or end of August. And the actual tour is called My Funny Life. And we're just getting the dates together right now.
Nice. Do you have any cities locked in right now, or they're still being confirmed?
Yeah, everything is still. We're working on a mock routing right now, and we filling up dates.
Well, I'm looking forward to the tour because I haven't seen you perform, and it's been a minute. I think it was in Philly. I can't remember, but it's been a while, and I've always, loved your performance and how your interaction with your fans has always been something that's like intimate.
Yeah, that's my favorite part of it.
So, thanks so much for this interview. We definitely appreciate chatting with you. I'm looking forward to this album, and I'm glad that you're back. I know your fans are glad that you're back. I've seen a lot of, response on my end when they were like, "Oh my goodness, baby, you want to interview Lyfe? That's so amazing." Tell them I said hi. So, everybody's excited, and I've got to say congratulations on this new project because it's definitely, from what I hear, is incredible. And Pretty Is just it's dynamite. It's going to be blowing on Billboard sooner or later.
Well, you make sure you tell everybody on your end I say hello, man, and we appreciate all your support.
Oh, definitely. Well, Lyfe, before we have you do a drop for us, tell everybody where they can follow you as far as your social media is concerned, and where they can get Pretty Is.
You can get Pretty Is from, iTunes. It's up definitely. My social media is just Lyfe Jennings. Lyfe Jennings on Facebook, Lyfe Jennings on Instagram. Twitter is Lyfe Online 419. That's Lyfe Online 419 on Twitter. And the album is in stores June 23rd.
So make sure you guys get Lyfe's album. Let me ask you, with the album, are you going to do have more visuals come out leading up to the project?
Yes, definitely. We're going to definitely do that.
Awesome. I'm definitely looking forward to it. That way people can, really get the whole story of what you're trying to convey with this album. Because, every album that you do and the visuals, they always match so perfectly.
Hey, yo, what's good is you got Lyfe Jennings right here, man, and you are tuned in to the Beers with D. Do not change that dial. Do not move from that seat, man. Yes.